What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm sitting in a 22 WRX limited model. I had a pleasure of actually reviewing this. Big shout out to my buddy Danny, who you can't see, that's sitting in the passenger seat. You guys remember Danny from some videos, and Pfaff Subaru for letting me basically review their car. A lot of controversy on this vehicle, so I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I may do some comparisons to the 22 BRZ since I have one, but I'm not gonna go back and forth and compare too much. But let's get into driving. I wanna drive it a little bit and then we'll talk about it. This is a 2.4 turbocharged motor making 271 horsepower and I believe 258 pounds of torque. This only makes 3 more horsepower than the previous models. The previous generation held on for about 7 years until we had a new design. The new design is definitely a hit or miss to a lot of people. Some people love it. It's rally inspired and kind of like off-roading inspired. I believe Subaru had some like focus groups, and that's where they got this and this idea from, and a lot of people wanted this, but a lot of us aren't liking it. One thing that's really nice, once you're in about 3,000 RPMs, second gear, you forget about how ugly it looks. Not bad. The brakes have a bit of a bite, but you really have to put your foot into it to really start braking. But that's most cars these days anyways. A lot of people always hate the new Subaru coming out. The Subaru previous to this, a lot of people actually didn't like it. They said it looked like an Evo. So what I'm wondering is this Subaru going to grow on us over time? It's something new, it's something bold. I wish Subaru gave us an option of paint matching the flares, and I think if they did, a lot more people would be prone to getting one. One thing Subaru did this year is put a lot of money into developing their new CVT transmission. They actually don't want to call it a CVT transmission anymore. That is tainted. So what they call it is the Subaru Performance Transmission. They do want to keep up with the Guelph R's, with the DSG, and the Velociter ends. And honestly, if I can get my hands on one day, I'd love to try it out, because I have driven the Guelph R and that DSG transmission is actually fantastic. It's quick. So I'm very intrigued to see what Subaru did. They're trying to tap, I believe 80% of sales are standard or 6-speed, and what they're trying to do is tap into a bigger market with the CVT. A lot of people these days actually do not like driving 6-speed or standard anymore, and they do want a CVT model car. And that's where the Golfs and the Elantra ends, that's where they all kind of come in. So I think that's where Subaru's trying to tap into. Aside from that, the car that we're driving today, aside from the looks on the exterior, the driving performance is actually quite nice. The top end power dies out a little bit, but so does mainly every turbo stock car, unless you're driving something absolutely wild. This car definitely has opportunity to be really great. As you've seen a few online already, especially that red one with paint match everything, it does look pretty good. I do like the front end of the car. The taillights are actually one of my favorite taillights I've seen. Once you get a close up, like I'm about to show you guys right now, they actually look super cool. They're a magma or lava style taillight, and it does look really high end. The side of the car is okay. One thing to note is this car is actually bigger in length and width, but the curb weight isn't as heavy as the previous model, so you do have more room in the back. The only downfall is the slope in the rear. For someone who's taller, makes it a little more difficult to sit because your head does hit the top, but aside from that, it's a much more comfortable car. Speaking of comfort, it's these seats. These seats are absolutely fantastic. I actually really like them for a stock car. If you do want the Recaro seat, that only comes in the Subaru Performance package and does not come in a 6-speed model for whatever reason. The seats that we're sitting in right now are actually really good, and I'm actually impressed. It holds you in nice. They do not come in leather anymore. It's just this style seat, and it has a lot of paneling. The main reason for this paneling is to hold you in around corners. I'm not the smallest guy or the biggest guy. I guess I'm a medium average build, and it actually holds me in quite nice. The upholstery on the sides are there just a little bit, so it brings your legs in just a little bit, but It's a pretty comfortable seat. I can see riding in these seats for a long period of time. I'll just compare it to the BRZ since I have it. The BRZ is not as comfortable as these seats in my opinion. This, I can see myself driving for longer drives. I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours coming here, and my back was already killing me on the other end. I feel like I can road trip in this car without issue. We're gonna give it a first gear pull. Honestly, it's not too bad. That was first to third, and it was not that bad at all. It got us through the gears pretty quickly. We're in second gear right now, about 3,000, and boost kicks in. And it's not bad. It's a fun car. It's, you know, it's not super exciting, but I feel like it has potential for it to be super exciting with mods. And we'll do another first gear pull. The boost really kicks in around, like, I would say 4,500 RPMs. And we're gonna keep going, keep pushing, keep pushing. Fourth gear. And it moves pretty nicely. It's not too bad. It's not like insanely exciting. Let's see how the suspension handles. We're on a bend here, and it's holding pretty nicely, which is expected with the Subaru and their all-wheel drive system. It gives you a lot of confidence. You know what? You can get in trouble with this car. This car picks up quite fast now. It picks up quick, and like before you know it, you're above the speed limit quite easily. Without thinking about the exterior of the car, sitting in the interior of the car, it seems like a great car. It's handling fantastic. I'm not too sure actually what tires we're on, but it's handling great. Suspension feels nice and smooth, and the power delivery is actually quite nice. Once boost hits, it kind of puts you in your seat just a little bit, and that's what you want with a boosted car. So second gear, let's do this again. Let's see what she's got. Boost kicks around 4,000. This is a fun car, and we're moving. Top of fourth. This is definitely a fun car. The brakes are okay. I'm a Brembo enthusiast, obviously, so I'm used to pretty good brakes, but the brakes aren't too bad for what they are. The steer response is actually really quick for what it is. Like, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. I feel like with some suspension, it would handle a little better. It'd be a little more active to your turning, but it's not too bad. As you see, we're kind of going back and forth, back and forth. And what's nice is it's an all-wheel drive system. It's doing what it does best, and it's holding down the power fantastic, as always. I personally do not mind the front end. I think they did a good job with the front end. The headlights actually look really, really nice. One thing to note is this honeycomb texture here, Subaru claims it basically helps the aerodynamics. It smoothens the air out so that the car becomes a little more aerodynamic. The grille is nothing too special, but it is pretty big in comparison to the bumper space alone. I think with a lip and lower, this thing might actually look half decent from the front. Another cool feature here is this little square here. If you remove this, you have a front camera option just to help with parking. The thing that we all been talking about is pretty much the side profile of this car and possibly the rear. So, like I said, this has that same honeycomb texture to help the aerodynamics, and it does have functioning ducts, which is cool. At least they're functional. The thing is, me personally, I don't think they look that good. It just looks way too big and way too bulky. I think if they refined it a little better, would have looked nicer, but it is not my style. If you do a rally build on this, I think this will suit, or if you have a darker color, I think this would look nicer also. As you see, Pfaff put a cool livery on the car. It kind of brings the colors in together a little more. I am not a big fan of this, but I think there's hope. Like I said, I've seen a color match and it doesn't look horrible. The side skirt on the car isn't bad. Some simple side skirting, and then the rear again, not a fan at all. One thing I do like that they did is they brought this out over here, so it gives the car an aggressive look. It just kind of flares out, which is really, really nice. This car does not share any body panels with the Impreza, so it's a completely different car in total. So that is something really cool. Also, you cannot use any of the Impreza body panels. This is a completely different car. These taillights are probably one of the coolest taillights I've seen. they almost give you a magma or lava effect, and it gives you a nice high-end feeling. This is one of the nicer taillights I've seen. The shape of it is not my favorite, but the design inside and the execution is fantastic. One thing that I think I personally hate more than the wheel arches is this rear diffuser. It is so big and so bulky, and I'm not a fan. I know paint match looks okay. The one thing I do not like about this car is, like, if you did paint match all this, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And it's like I said, if it was something that came from factory, it'd look really nice. Once again, the top half has a honeycomb feature and the bottom half is flat. I just feel like this whole area is lackluster and there's nothing here. They give you the option of the F1 style brake light, which is nice, may add to this, but this is just so big. Like, there's so much space. I feel like if they brought this down just a little bit and kind of made this, you know, not as bulky, the rear end wouldn't look too bad. They give you the quad tip, which is nice. We all like the quad tip on these cars, but aside from that, I actually do not like the rear diffuser at all. Maybe there's hope with some modifications, but at the moment, stock for stock, I do not like it. What I do like is this little duckbill that they give you. It adds to the trunk. Something as small as this just gives the car a little more characteristic and a little more sporty. I know all you Subaru guys will probably get a bigger duckbill or an STI wing of some sort. This center console is absolutely huge. It's 11.6 inches. The screen is actually really nice. They actually give you buttons, your climate control, and the buttons are volume, tune, your front windshield. As you see, let's turn that off. And then you have your climate control here. The interior of the Subaru isn't anything insane, but I think they went leaps ahead compared to all the old generations. You have like your faux carbons there, all the red stitching all around, and like I said, these seats feel fantastic and are super comfortable. Feel nice also. You have your leather. The shift knob is nothing too special, but it does feel pretty good. All right, guys, I want to say a big thank you to Pfaff Subaru here in Guelph. I will take all their info down below. Check them out. Fantastic people here. All real car enthusiasts. The amount of people that came out and actually gave me a thumbs up and talked to me about the BRZ is fantastic. It's nice to see some young blood in these dealerships. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this type of review, comment down below and let me know. Big thank you to Danny for hooking this up. He is the true OG, and thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Do it once, do it right, and later.